Have you ever noticed how a simple gesture, a nod, or even just how close someone stands to you can mean something entirely different depending on where you are in the world? It is a fascinating aspect of human interaction that often goes unnoticed until we step outside our own cultural bubble. Nonverbal cues vary across cultures primarily because they are learned behaviors, deeply embedded in a society's values, communication styles, and social norms. These cues are not universal, but rather a product of our shared cultural upbringing, shaping how we express ourselves and interpret others without a single spoken word. The core mechanism behind this variation lies in the process of socialization. From a very young age, we are implicitly taught how to use and interpret nonverbal signals by our families, peers, and broader community. This learning shapes how we handle personal space, known as proxemics. For example, individuals from some Latin cultures might stand much closer during conversation than someone from Northern Europe, where more distance is typically preferred. Body movements and gestures, or kinesics, also differ greatly. A thumbs-up sign, widely understood as approval in many Western countries, can be a grave insult in parts of West Africa or the Middle East. Even seemingly universal expressions like contact carry different meanings. Direct eye contact can signify honesty and engagement in some cultures, while in others, it might be perceived as a challenge or disrespect, especially towards authority figures. The amount and type of physical touch, or haptics, varies enormously as well, influencing everything from greetings to public displays of affection. To navigate this complex landscape, it is helpful to first recognize that your default nonverbal signals might not always translate appropriately. When interacting with people from different cultural backgrounds, make a conscious effort to observe local nonverbal behaviors without immediately assigning your own cultural meanings. Try to notice how people greet each other, their typical conversational distance, and how they use their hands or facial expressions. If you find yourself unsure about a specific nonverbal cue, gently asking clarifying questions can prevent misunderstandings. For example, you might say, "Could you explain what that gesture means?" Or, "I want to make sure I understand correctly." A key insight here involves understanding cultural display rules, which are unwritten societal norms dictating how and when to express emotions nonverbally. For instance, in some cultures, it may be inappropriate to outwardly show sadness or anger in public, even if felt internally. Moreover, remember emblems, which are specific nonverbal signals that have a direct verbal translation, much like saying a word. A classic example is waving goodbye. While a wave might seem universal, its precise form and context can differ, illustrating the subtle nuances of these learned signals. Ultimately, appreciating that nonverbal communication is a culturally constructed language empowers us to engage with greater sensitivity and insight. By consciously learning to read and adapt to these diverse nonverbal languages, we can build stronger relationships, avoid unintentional offense, and foster more effective communication across all cultural boundaries. It allows for a richer, more connected human experience in our increasingly globalized world.